talk shit about him.
We're live
Huh?
right
Do I?
now, and yeah, we're live. We're live. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the Cow Corner Dugout, and here we are. Game four. It's just been the opening week of the IPL, and we've seen quite a few upsets or quite a few script changes. We initially felt the first 2 days we're just going to be seeing these 200 plus games, and then yesterday we had CSK saying no, I'm going to change the script. They almost promised us a sub 100 total, and then they got out for 127. But today we had a 150 kind of a game. So the IPL is still meandering and finding its way, but thankfully not having these 220, 230 run slugfests. But what are the first impressions for each of our panel today? We're going to have, let me introduce the panel. We have Nirav, we have Tarut, and we have a young debutant, Trinay Surendranath, who's just finished his class 12, all of 17 and 18. And he's sporting an Australian jersey here. So let's just have a quick round of, okay, the game that just got over, Gujarat versus Punjab. What were your first impressions of the game? We start with the youngest one of the lot, Trinay.
Uh, quite an interesting, not an interesting game as such. Besides when Prasid started to go mad. I mean, I was hoping that Harpreet Brar would play this game. We'll bring up a graph later of how GT's middle order cannot hit spin. Everybody expected GT's top three to make runs. They didn't. Big shocker. And, it was nothing much. Run-of-the-mill game. If this is 2016, 2017, you'd expect a game like this. I really like Cooper Conley's innings. He really impressed me. He's not had a very good 6 months. The T20 World Cup was disappointing. His Test debut was disappointing. So what he did, I think, was really good. Made a stamp. Hopefully, this is the start of a long, prosperous career for him. Rabada went for a couple of runs. I feel Siraj could have gotten another over, but yeah, that's all bits and pieces.
Right.
That's all I have to say.
Got it. Over to you, Taritra. What was your first impressions of this game?
I think both these teams have major batting problems, right? We saw them both. The middle orders are basically non-existent. Just a little bit of help with the spinners, and both middle orders just collapsed. I think Trey made this point as well. If the Pacers weren't perfect, right? They weren't playing an amazing game. Jansen was great. Siraj was pretty good. But a lot of them went for a lot of runs. And despite that, we're ending up with a 160 total, which was hard for them to chase down. And it took a miracle innings from a debutant who's had a pretty terrible 6 wins to chase down 160 runs. So, and I don't think the pitch was, particularly tricky. So it's a very interesting thing of, I think this was poor batting more than amazing bowling.
Right. Actually, over to you, Nirav. Nirav and I actually had a very similar thought, which we also, kind of echoed on commentary. I'll allow Nirav to go ahead with his thoughts on how the game panned out.
It was an interesting game in very small phases, I felt. I mean, there were times when, well, let's start with the GT innings. I think there were times when GT looked set. They were, I think, 80 odd in 9 overs, maybe going at about nines with wickets in the bag. So in control for patches without being exciting or without, getting too far away. And I think that kept happening. Nobody ran away with the game, even in Punjab's chase. It wasn't a reckless chase. It wasn't a dominant chase like we've seen in the last 3 days, actually. And, when Prasid ran in and started, you thought Punjab will cruise from that point. But again, 3 wickets in a quick succession. They're going from 110 to 120 for 6, 4-5 wickets going in a hurry. But no one really blew the game, and no one controlled any one phase. No one dominated, big chunk of the 40 overs. So I think it was a game which had, 2 overs for one team and then 2 overs for the other team. And in the end, I don't know, man. It's one of those chases which, I mean, it's a dangerous kind of chase, the one that looks easy, but there is enough in it for the bowlers, with the rain in the air, the drops falling every now and then, which I felt, there was enough tension to make it, I think, probably the most interesting game so far.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that because the game was evenly matched. And in fact, it was so evenly matched that if you look at just on the screen right now, the power play scores were nearly the same. the middle overs, 77 for 3, 78 for 5. Punjab, in fact, lost their way in the middle overs. But if you see the run difference, Punjab is ahead by just 1 run in each of those phases. So the game was that evenly matched. And if you look at the final overs, again, Punjab 1 run ahead and probably 5 balls ahead. So that's how close the game was. I think both the sides had a certain pattern where I think they were able to score a lot of runs in the first 9, 10 overs. After that, I think what the commentator said was that with the new ball on this kind of a surface, since it's a slower track, the best time to score runs is your first 8, 9 overs. And after that, once it becomes slightly older, run scoring was a little tough. And we saw that off-pace deliveries, somebody like Tewatia was struggling. But that brings us to our next point, which was around. It's a point that Trinay had actually messaged on our Cow Corner group. And it was a very interesting point on why Gujarat Titans may actually not have the right middle order setup. But before I go to Trinay, I'm just going to go to Tarutra and to Nirav to check what do you think of Gujarat's top and middle order?
So
Tarutra, you
I think, yeah, I can go for it. I think if you go back to the stats we saw, the scorecard stats, there is a very interesting thing of GT had fewer dot balls and they had only 78 runs in boundaries versus PBKS's 108 runs in boundaries. And this is a point I think, Karthik, you made in our group chat early on during the game, is GT are playing cricket from 2016, right? The strategy of run hard and don't take dots versus trying and get 4s and 6s at every ball. It's just the wrong strategy for 2026, right? They're not going to score a lot like this. And I think when you particularly go for this bowler-heavy attack of Rabada over Jason Holder as your overseas player, then you really need to accelerate. And Butler is another one who's a big problem right now. He's not able to be himself. Whether this is a permanent decline or just a bad 6 months, we'll find out. But it's a wrong strategy in my mind.
So these are things which I think come down to form, right? Because I mean, you look back 12 months, and these top three between them, they had over 2,000 runs, right? They averaged one got 750, one got 650, one got 550 at fairly decent strike rates. So in fact, Shubman Gill, the comment he made today was that they were number one on the table till the end of the 13th game, right? Last year, and then they ended up being fourth they had such a bad 14th game that they ended up being fourth on the qualifier, right? I don't know if that was not, I mean, it was a different approach to a team which did not have a strong enough 4, 5, and 6 last year. They still don't, but they're substantially better off than they were last year. With a Glenn Phillips and a Washington Sundar as a fixed 4 and 5. Last year they tried a few options. In fact, invariably, Washington Sundar was the trade-off for Arshad Khan. Sometimes they played a pace bowling all-rounder, sometimes they played a spin bowling all-rounder. But I think now Washi's been given a settled 4-5 role. And Glenn Phillips, man, it's his first game. He's not had the great IPL last couple of years. But having said that, it's a matter of form. And I think currently these three today are looking out of form, or they didn't look enough in form to say that GT is going to have another great year.
Right. And I'm just going to go back to a point that Tarutra had made, and we had again discussed this, because Gujarat have a certain template of batting where they don't really waste too much time. They have very few dot balls. So I was just curious to see where does Gujarat figure in amongst those 10 teams with respect to your dot ball ratio. See, let's say you play 40 dot balls in a 120 innings. Then you have 80 balls to score your runs. And if you're scoring 115, 80 balls, then it means your non-dot ball strike rate is about 190, somewhere around that. So I kind of looked that up very quickly. This is last year's data. And when I look at last year's data, what I'm basically seeing is that Gujarat Titans are basically the second lowest dot ball percentage team. But when you go right on the left, especially in the graph that you're seeing that after Gujarat Titans was Punjab Kings. They had the least amount of dot balls as such. But when you look at the non-dot ball scoring, these are the two lowest teams. Of the other balls that they have where they are scoring runs, they're actually not in the top league. The top league teams which are scoring off, apart from their dot balls, teams that are scoring high are Sunrisers, who have a very high risk strategy. So it's interesting to see how teams' DNA are blending. And these two teams, when you look at the 2025 data, are fairly similar with respect to mapping your dot ball percentage and also mapping your non-dot ball strike rate. So that's a little math that we just wanted to see and see where do these teams figure. And I don't think it was any different in terms of the start this season. But going back, and again, since we're looking at one more stat, we had Trinay who had a very interesting observation to make, and I'm quickly going to get to that slide. Yeah, Trinay, this is your slide, and you had a point on how GT's middle order isn't really suited for handling spin. So why don't you take it from here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised no one's really brought this up, but it's not. It isn't exactly surprising because last year, as Neerav said, their top threes carried them. They're really good batsmen, but this year, I know you mean considering Sai's injury, Butler's loss of form, and Gill has a few issues here since he didn't make the squad. They may not make as many runs, which will lead to the middle order getting exposed. And these are their strike rates for every match where ball by ball data in T20s has been available. If you take a look at Glenn Phillips, his strike rate difference isn't as much. There's about a 10-point difference. He strikes at 150 against pace and around 135 against spin. But if you take a look at Washington, Shah Rukh Khan, and Tewatia, I mean, these three are the main pillars of their middle order. They've been here for a couple of seasons. They just cannot hit spin. It is in the mid 110s, and for any era, that is really bad. And that's where I felt that Punjab could have played the extra spinner if they played Harpreet Brar instead of Vaishak, who did have a good game, or Xavier Bartlett even. They might have choked them because the top three got out, and you had these three exposed. If they'd had Brar and Chahal bowling in tandem, they could have choked them, and 120 to 140, the game could have been done by then. And then Prashid wouldn't have had a chance to go nuts at the end with the 2-3 wickets he took in one over. That's all I've
That's
got
an
to say on this.
interesting thought that you had, where you felt that somebody like Vaishak Vijay Kumar, even though he's a medium pacer, he was largely trying to bowl cutters. And that's also something that Yuzvendra Chahal had mentioned, in the innings break, where he said that once you know that bowlers are, just bowling, the fast bowlers are bowling cutters, then, you just have to vary your pace on the wicket, and that's all that's required. It's a fairly slow track. And exactly that particular data, we're just trying to see, whether spin, what was the combination for spin exactly on this. So when I go look at this, old age is catching up. I'm not able to really see how small or big the data is. But when I look at Chahal's gone for about 7 and over, and they've just had it's just been 4 overs of spin, because outside of that you had 4 medium pacers bowling. You just did not have any other spin option. But while Gujarat were bowling, they had close to 7 overs of spin, and I think they went at the same economy rate. So I think it's probably worth considering that if you had the extra over of spin here and there, maybe a couple of overs of spin. But what were your options, Trinay, in terms of the spin within the current team, within the current 11?
I mean, within Punjab's 11, the one they fielded.
The one they fielded today?
I mean, Connolly can't bowl. Cricket Australia has come out and said that he can't bowl for the next couple of weeks. So who usually bowl, but I don't rate him much as a spinner. Brar should have been playing. I don't know why he didn't play. You could have benched Bartlett. Stoinis is a pretty good seam bowler. I don't see why you couldn't get 1 or 2 overs out of him. He could have played the Vaishak Vijay Kumar role, bowl those slow bounces. He's done that for years, for nearly a decade for Australia. So you could have gotten 3 overs out of Brar and maybe 1 out of Stoinis. They have a lot of flexibility. Ponting's team has a lot of flexibility, but they're not using it. They're playing it safe, which has won them a game against a below average GT side, if we're being honest. But if they're going up against the MIs of the world, the RCBs, I feel they could give them a run for their money.
Hey, you're not coming and saying if they go up against the CSKs of the world, what are you wearing yellow and you're saying this?
If I was representing CSK, I'd be wearing Uganda instead of Australia, if I'm being honest. A CSK, they could play anybody and get
Ouch, that must hurt, Karthik.
Yeah.
Listen, Karthik,
I'm a hardcore
the
CSK fan
or-
myself.
yeah. You guys have had 15 years. It's time for RCB to have one very bad year, and then we'll get back to it.
But very interesting point that you make. You're saying that if we basically had the opportunity to get these 2-3 overs of spin of Harpreet Brar, but what that would also mean is you wouldn't have somebody at the death like a Xavier Bartlett, and I think Bartlett finished it. And there's some comments coming in the long rope army group, where I think people were, saying that it's so easy for Bartlett to come, but Bartlett came, hit that six that eased a lot of pressure, and I think one of the Punjab fans has actually called him Xavier Inder Bartlett. But they were so happy with Bartlett scoring that six at the at that time of the game. But if Brar was there, I'm not sure Brar offers that kind of batting. So you always look for batting depth.
Brar is not an incompetent batsman. Brar is not an incompetent batsman. He plays at 7 for his state team. So he's a spin bowling all-rounder in the old sense. Probably. I mean, I don't know if I've seen a couple of his innings. He gets the job done. I mean, he's a 10 or 6 ball kind of player. We'll do it if required.
So then I think if let's say,
if I'm not mistaken, they have Ashdeep as well. He can hit a long ball, so that's a toss-up. I mean, a tail-ender hitting runs it's a coin toss. So Ashdeep could have done it as well as Bartlett did, in my opinion.
Right, but that's an interesting point for Kings 11 Punjab to consider, because Xavier Bartlett went at close to 9 and over, and they could have potentially. Tarutra says Brar has an average of about 20 and a strike rate of 120. So did you cite that?
Yeah, it's from ESPN. That his IPL stats band. He's 20 average, 120 SR as a batter. It's not bad as lower order firefighter.
It is a good number 8 player in today's
That's a very decent number 8. Yeah.
Well, so that said, yes, I think it's an interesting option to check if Punjab actually could have put Harpreet Brar for Xavier Bartlett. Ricky Ponting might have been slightly upset, but still, would it have done the job? That's the question the fans asked.
I actually would have said they should have gone for Omarzai instead of Bartlett for starters. Omarzai is a more than competent new ball bowler, and is a very good batting option. Right, so
Ponting's not going to bench an Aussie. Let's be honest here. He's not going to bench an Aussie.
Also, I think Omarzai he's out for a couple of weeks. He's not reached yet. He's got some personal resolve we've got so far.
But yeah, I mean, coming from the other side of Iran.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. Hey, that's a good point. Maybe that might be the problem. But no, I think it's just Punjab have something to look forward to. They have Omarzai and they have Ferguson, who will be ready for the back end of the season when the business actually rolls around. I don't know how GT gets better apart from hoping Butler becomes Butler. And
Sai and Gill could
I actually made this comment in the preview part of yesterday's episode. I think GT's entire campaign depends on the form of Josh Butler and Rashid Khan. These are the two people who need to come into form and need to do peak. They are elite players who, in their own right, had a decade of great performances. Josh Butler, orange cap holder in 22, the year they made the finals. Rashid Khan, I don't think he's won a purple cap, but he's been close a few times, or he's been runner-up and whatever. So we need. I mean, yeah. So they both had disappointing last 2-3 years. Josh Butler still had a good 2025, but I think they need to be delivering elite level performances within the IPL setup for GT to go beyond the top 4 this year.
See, the thing with GT is
even into the top 4.
The thing with GT is all their money is in 5 players: Gill, Sudarshan, Butler, Rabada, and Rashid Khan. All 5 at some point in time who have been the best player or nearly the best player in the IPL in their respective roles. Rabada is the fastest, if I'm not wrong, the fastest bowler to 100 IPL wickets. Rashid Khan tore up the world with his Shahid Afridi leg spin, and we all know about Butler, Sai, and Gill. Unfortunately for them, all 5 have found the perfect time to lose form. Now, they could come back to it by the end of the season, but if they don't, there's not much. They don't have too much in between. These are the best players, and the gap is really big, isn't it? So they've got to pray that at least 3 of those 5 come off. If not, then I don't think they've got much of a season left.
I think just to put a positive spin on it, Gill looked good today. Butler got some runs on the board. They were slow, but at least he got some runs on the board.
Not convincing.
Not convincing at all, but I'm trying to put a positive spin, right? It's better than his World Cup campaign.
Washi bowled really well. Washington bowled
well. Rashid Khan bowled fantastically. Rashid Khan probably could have done a little bit more with the bat if they hadn't sent him in super late for some reason. I think GT are a little too rigid in their tactics sometimes. They need to loosen up a little bit, catch up with the rest of the league. But yeah, it is. Yeah, you're looking for a little bit more perfection compared to some of the better teams.
What about Punjab though? What do you think they could take away from this game?
I think Punjab have options, despite having a very strange set of overseas players. I think they'll be fine. They will
What do
beat
you mean
the
strange
lower
set?
end of the teams.
How dare you call Aussie strange set?
They've basically got an entire team that got knocked out by the Zimbabwe in the World Cup, right? That's their
Yeah,
overseas
true.
contingent, right?
True.
Stoinis, Bartlett, Connolly is just a crazy trio to have. And I
With
but
Dwashis in the
it didn't.
bench.
Dwash
And
is
one more, right? Who else?
Dwash is
Which
good.
other?
Dwash could have played against instead of Bartlett. He's a better batter than him. He can swing the ball. I would have played Dwash ahead of Bartlett any day. Bartlett was probably last in the pecking order. I would have played Brar and Dwash ahead of him. I don't know where that call came from. But yeah, back to you.
Yeah, no. I think, but despite all that, despite a pretty terrible win today, I think they're going to clean up against the bottom half of the table, and
CSK.
they will be ready. Yeah, they will be ready for the business end. I do see them getting into the knockouts again.
I think so. I see them. I see them hitting peak form. This is a team on. I mean, this is the worst performance. They'll get better. But
Yeah,
you know,
I don't
as
think they're
compared to
losing to
some
the
of
bad
teams-
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's also the combination of which teams you're playing twice against, right? So
Yeah.
Punjab gets to play CSK twice, right? They're on the other side. Just
Yeah.
They're playing against
Yeah,
them
I
this
remember.
Friday.
I remember,
This,
we're playing against this Friday, and I remember this comment where I think somebody from RCB fan group said it on the group yesterday that wow, man, why is RCB playing CSK only once? We deserve to play CSK twice. At least there are like 4 extra points coming. But
Yeah, you guys kept playing us when you were good and we were bad.
yeah,
no. So
we
Punjab,
did.
no, sorry. Punjab and RCB and CSK are in the same half. So Punjab gets to play Gujarat Titans twice, Mumbai
No.
Indians twice, Delhi Capitals twice, SRH twice, Lucknow Super Giants twice. I think it's too
We
early
have
to
a-
call who's going to be winning, dominating each of them. But
I think.
Not really.
I mean,
Mumbai
I would
and RCB are going to dominate. Mumbai and RCB, no doubt, regardless of who they're playing.
I don't think SRH are going to be very good this year. They've got a very imbalanced side.
they've got a weak bowling attack. They're probably the weakest
Yeah.
bowling attack.
I mean, everybody has a weak bowling attack.
yes.
Half of the pace bowlers in the IPL were knocked out by injury because of the T20 World
no.
Cup and all the competitions.
Ironically, GT have a pretty decent bowling attack.
Yeah, but none of them are in
I mean-
form. Doesn't matter.
No, they did
They were
okay
decent
today.
today.
I think
They did good
I mean,
today. I think the batters failed them.
they did fairly well defending 160. Let's put it this way.
That is true. Yeah, you
Right?
could say that.
5
So
balls
you,
away.
uh, So I mean, Siraj is a decent new ball bowler. Abada is a good death bowler. I don't know why they're giving him the new ball though. I would, I don't know.
We have a CSK
What's
fan
his
chat.
feeling?
Sorry, interrupt. We have a CSK fan chat. Respect CSK, he says. Half of us are CSK fans. Karthik and myself are CSK fans, but we have undergone severe depression and we're facing reality now.
Yeah. I've
We're
facing
undergone
reality.
20 years of PTSD, so
would
now I can't
still
respect
say
them anymore.
that, I think we're just seeing one game, right? CSK
Yeah.
is built for flat tracks, and they are like a car which doesn't have brakes, which doesn't have a sixth gear. So if your pitches are, just going to be the normal flat tracks, and the other opposition makes mistakes, it is then that CSK can potentially win. Because otherwise, CSK doesn't have that extra sixth gear, like for example, somebody like a Vaibhav Suryavanshi, even if it's swinging, somebody to go swinging even when the pitch is slightly tougher to bat, or you don't have an express pace option who's cranking it at 145, 150 plus. You don't even have that. So I think one has to be a little realistic with CSK's chances. If their only option is, hey, we will outbat the opponents, that is RCB strategy from 2010 till 2023, 24. And then they finally decided that, hey, man, let's invest in bowlers. CSK hasn't done that in this cycle of the auction. And some of their domestic bowlers, they need to come to the fore. But that's just being a little real as CSK fan. So but I think what the comment is coming from Steve Bhai is that the batting isn't going to collapse. I agree. Yesterday, Guwahati, the conditions were very different. So 3 days of moisture, there is some amount of, seam and swing movement. I think there was a one-off fairly. Quality batting lineup, yeah. I'm just waiting to see them on flatter tracks and see, how they'll come by. But you are going to get these games whereon you're going to have pitches like these, or the ones that you saw today in Mullanpur, where it's going to get tough by batting after the 8th, 9th over. And so sometimes a team is caught napping when it doesn't have its combinations right. Like we've seen for Gujarat, they don't have the best batting order against spin in the middle overs. But yes, that's sometimes how teams are structured. That's why they're paid for the auction. I don't think CSK had a great auction. Just
You
being
said
very
they're
honest.
you said they're a team with no brakes. A team with no brakes can drive off the cliff if there's no road,
Yeah,
which is
sounds
ironically.
interesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I mean, I also just as a positive note for CSK, I think Dubey is going to be better than he was over the weekend, right? I think that was
So would Sanju
that
and
game
so would Rituraj.
happens. Yeah, Sanju is Sanju. We'll see what happens, but I
3
think
games,
Dubey
3
is going to
games.
be much better. Yeah.
so there's an alpha male who's saying StreamYard का link तो मुझे भी बात करना है. So please, alpha male, put in a comment. We'll be happy to listening to you. It gets very tough trying to. It's not like Twitter Spaces where I think it's still easier to moderate. This isn't as easy, but I'm waiting to hear your comment. And so yeah, I
Okay,
think
let's
while
not
we
go
read
back to
that-
yesterday's game. Let's stick to today's game.
Yeah, let's stick to today's game.
I think there was this one moment, and I was thinking, Marco Jansen, did he have a Barbados 2024 kind of a moment? 9 of 8 balls, he just hit a 6, was about to win it, and then Marco Jansen gets out. So at that point, I remember a comment came on the group that said, "Hey man, Jansen is getting flashbacks of that June 2024 where he was bowled by Bumrah." So did you at that point think before Bartlett came that this game could actually result in Punjab losing? Did any of you think that? I for one thought 19 or 14 balls is not as easy, but yes, I think Bartlett came and they were able to finish the game well along with Cooper Connolly.
You had a set batsman, and I don't think a batsman he's a pretty good batsman as much as I slandered him. Connolly is a quality batsman. He's set. I mean, there's 19 runs to knock off. All of that tail can bat. Arshdeep can bat. Even with Jansen gone, Arshdeep can bat. Forget about Bartlett. You have Arshdeep, you have a set batsman. I never really had any doubt. It was fun at the end where you saw Stoinis and everybody else swinging out. But yeah, I don't think I never feared for them. It was
No,
always
yesterday
I
I
think-
remember. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think going off Renee's point, Conley was the differentiator today. I don't think too many of us saw that coming, but he was out there. I think
Karthik did.
Punjab were winning.
Yeah, Connolly was my Dream 11 captain, and as much as I slandered him yesterday on the preview, I've seen Cooper Connolly bat in Melbourne in one of the BBL games while I had gone to the Dockland Stadium. He hit a 6th which hit the roof there on the stadium. And I remember the guy next to me, which was on a group, he was asking, "Hey, who's this guy?" I said, "This is Cooper Connolly." I think he was playing for Perth Scorchers, I think.
He's
Scorchers.
just-
He plays for the Scorchers. He saved them in a final when he was 19 years old, 1 year older than me at the time. He saved them in a final with a mind-blowing innings, and ever since then, he's been fast tracked to success. Basically, he's been around the Australian group. He's probably gonna be a starter in the Test match side pretty soon. So yeah, he's a one for the future for sure.
Okay, so what's the other points that we had to speak on? Did you? Yeah, I think these are the 3-4 narrative points that I had, and
Okay, so my question to the group: what can GT do better? What could they have done? Where do they go from here?
Wait for the next cycle. There's nothing they can do with the squad they have.
That's tough.
I
Unless-
think even in
Yeah, go for it,
2022, even in 2022 in GT1, they weren't looking like the best team. They were struggling in every game. They always had this one guy who would come and perform. I remember even against CSK, the game that they had almost lost. Miller came out of nowhere and then played that knock, and CSK lost it. I have scars from that game still. Like that every game, like even against RCB. I remember, I think Tarut, you might remember because you're an RCB fan. I think there was like a 180, 190 chase, and I think this guy Tewatia just waited for the Pacers to come on, and then it was a Saturday evening. I remember I was in a metro and I was watching that game. So GT basically did not have the most ideal team back then, but they still were able to scrap through and they won that tournament in 2022.
So
And,
mean,
you know,
being
were
a
you-
GT inside of those years, I'll say 22 and 23 when they made the final, and both those years there was a problem in the finishing, right? But you have to remember, 23 was the last year. I mean, it was a year that the impact player had come in, but it was still the point where 180 was a damn good score. So I think what worked for GT was the fact that they had 5 good bowlers, right? And the sixth one was Hardik Pandya. Even so, I think 22 was the year without the impact player, and 23 the
Yeah.
impact player came in. So
No,
in
and
22 they had Hardik
24.
Pandya as the sixth bowler. In 23 they still had Hardik Pandya as the sixth bowler, right? So what happened was that the impact player rule didn't really affect them. So and it
Right.
was still an era where 180 was the good score, right? So what was happening those years was there was Rahul Tewatia at 6 at
6.
best, and Hardik at 4, Miller at 5. So these guys were actually they weren't. So I think the rest of the team got to bat once or twice in the whole tournament each year, right? It never went beyond 6 wickets. So whatever the situation, they would get to 160 for 6, defend it. They would get to 180, chase 180 for 4 wickets. So it was that phase of the IPL, and I think the problem has sustained that they've always still had, I think, 5 good bowlers, because even today you look at it, they have the man for man replacement is fairly good, right? If Ashok Sharma goes out, there is a Gurnoor who's similar, bowls quick, and they have that Arshad Khan, I think, in the bench. If they have to lose Washington Sundar, they can get a left arm spinner in Sai Kishore. They have a option in Jason Holder, for example. So their bench bowling strength is good. The problem is that there is no bench batting strength, right? You have to play the top three, and Glenn Phillips you have to play. So they don't have really a replacement for number 4 and number 5, and forcing a guy like Shah Rukh Khan, who's been dropped from his state team because he's not in form, as your number 6 batsman is, and Tewatia has had a series. I mean, he's not played domestic cricket this year, so it's one of those long runs for the entire 7. It's not just the 3. It's Washington Sundar has not been playing white ball cricket. He was part of India's T20 and ODI setup a year ago. Not so anymore. Suddenly he's become a test specialist. So given the fancies of the way BCCI handles their 30-40 people in contract, it's suddenly that you're seeing this is happening for a team like GT, and it's all random things which have happened externally, which are now coming together and affecting this one team. So, having said that, I have great faith in the Ashish Nehra and Vikram Solanki as great strategists, and who have an ability to make people extraordinary. I think they've done that with a fair number of people in their squad. They made Hardik an extraordinary captain. They made Sai Sudarshan an extraordinary opener. They made Siraj an extraordinary new ball bowler, Prasidh Krishna an extraordinary death bowler. So I think they can do wonderful things. They just have to get their extraordinary players to continue being extra, because I think that's where the damage is going to happen. Shubman Gill, Josh Butler, Rashid Khan have to perform at elite levels.
See,
Not a problem Punjab is having.
I feel they could be playing Sai Kishore, but again, you can't drop Washi for Sai Kishore because Kishore can't bat as well as Washi.
I think both the teams read the fast bowling pitch. So I think it ended up being that maybe on another situation, Ashok Sharma goes out and Sai Kishore comes in, right? In another,
maybe.
In most wickets.
I think also, just to jump off what you're saying, you make a really good point. They have backup Indian bowlers, but they don't have backup Indian batters, right? So it seems like the obvious option.
Kushagra is seen uploaded. You're right. Kushagra is pretty much their only option to come in place of Shah Rukh Khan, which I thought might happen today. I'm
but what would make sense here is, I think Shah Rukh Khan and Rahul Tewatia, you can't have both of them, right? Carrying both of them and hoping both of them would perform is a bit much. I would keep Tewatia personally, but that might just be my RCB PTSD. But going off what you're saying, it makes sense to say, oh, you know what? Maybe take out a Rabada and bring in a Holder, just because he brings a little bit more depth. But that's all I can think of really from their squad. You have to juggle the overseas players to get more batting, so that you can fill in with the Indian bowling. But that's also not a great solution.
Rabada is good enough.
Kushagra instead of a Kushagra instead of a Sai Kishore, Shah Rukh Khan or Tewatia gives me infinitely more confidence.
I'm saying both. Like you said, the problem is the batting, right? They have not evolved. They're still stuck in the same mode, and they've got enough bowlers to fill out 5-6 slots, right? Prasidh Krishna was the impact player today. Like, they've got the team to fill out the bowling slots. It's how do you fill out the
So
batting
there
slots?
there are some. You're right. There are lots of bowling options in the bench. I forgot a guy like Manav Suthar who's been doing really good in the domestic circuit for the last year for India as well. He's a bit of an all rounder, but not not a enforcing batsman. He's a typically a red ball kind of a batsman, right? And a decent left arm spinner. But I think Sai Kishore will get the nod ahead. I mean, in lieu of Ashok Sharma in most games. I think it's also early days. I think this is the game where you can allow your debutants because there is no pressure. I mean, relatively there's no pressure. Back end of the tournament, you can't be handling out debuts unless you've reached that point where you're not qualifying.
Yeah, RR last year.
CSK last year.
CSK this year as well.
CSK last year was handing out debuts post second half, right? Because
but that worked. I mean, they were playing old man on crutches.
It's one of those things which worked, right? Sometimes it works. I mean, today handling a debut cap to Cooper Conley worked.
Steve Bhai once says Shah Rukh Khan might be the most forgettable batter in the last few years. Little harsh on him. Chennai boy, I might be a little biased. He's good, but I think again, your top three, your international quality batters are out of form. Do you seriously want to be picking on the state guy who just got dropped? I mean, you could drop him.
Actually, technically, Shah Rukh is an all-rounder also because in TNPL, in our Tamil Nadu league, Shah Rukh actually is more known as a bowler than as a batter. He's been picking up. I think he's like the top 3 wicket takers in the TNPL league. But yes, I think maybe when the IPL is of course a few notches
I've seen
higher.
him bowl. Just letting you know. I've seen him bowl.
But I think
I wouldn't count him as a bowler.
Especially in the GT lineup.
Impact player, he can't bowl. No way.
So the whole point is, does GT basically need 2 standalone batters to finish at number 6 and number 7? Or can you go experiment with somebody like Sai Kishore and Kumar Kushagra? The reason I ask that is somebody like Sai Kishore gives you a bowling option. Like Tewatia is hardly called on to bowl. You're just wasting 2 specialist batters in that position who are actually very weak against spin. The day you have to get them at the point of entry as a 12th or 13th over, the teams will keep an over of spin against them, extra couple of overs, because that can push the momentum. Even in that famous game in 2020, I think as much as Ponting did not really believe that this guy could go finish the game for Delhi Capitals against Rajasthan Royals, he had to wait till all the spin up. This was a game, I think it was Punjab Kings, not Rajasthan Royals. Punjab Kings versus Mayank Agarwal was the captain for Punjab Kings or Kings 11.
Tewatia scored 30 of the last.
Correct. Off Sheldon Cottrell.
Off Sheldon Cottrell. So it was Rajasthan Royals. He was playing for Rajasthan Royals at that time.
He was playing for Rajasthan Royals. But where were Ponting? I think he was previously for Delhi.
Ponting was at Delhi. Ponting was at Delhi in 1920.
Ponting was in Delhi, but Tewatia only came in, or rather, Tewatia went from Delhi in 2019 to Rajasthan in 2020.
To Rajasthan, correct.
See, Tewatia's had ups and downs. He's had those standalone knocks. They picked him after a really good domestic season, so he goes up and down. I personally think you cannot have both of them in the same side. But at the same time, if you want to drop one, you can't have this. If you have to drop one, you'll have to bring Sai Kishore in. Then there's too many bowlers. You'll have to drop Rabada for a holder, and holder is not half the bowler. Even Karan.
No, so one second. I would drop Shah Rukh Khan and bring in Kushagra.
But you wouldn't touch the overseas?
You need the batting.
I mean, that's the first change I would make. Sorry, come again?
What about the batting?
Kushagra is a top order player. Yeah, he's a proper.
He was
top
part of
order
Jharkhand's
batsman.
winning team, no?
Yeah.
But still, is he as good a finisher as Shah Rukh can be? Is my question. Like we've seen Shah Rukh do it a little.
Yeah, for sure.
He bashes pace. Shah Rukh's bad as he is against spin. His strike rate against pace is 170, if I'm not wrong.
Shah Rukh in all these years, and he's been playing for I think 8 years, 7-8 years. He played 3 years for Punjab. He's in his 4th year for GT. No, 3rd year for GT. 7. So at least 8-9 years. I don't remember him winning one single game.
No, he's won a couple of games.
His strike
he won
rate
a couple of IPL games
against pace. You take that as a last 5 over pace basher, basically. You take that. I mean, get rid of Tewatia. Play Shah Rukh at 7. Kushagra a little higher, maybe. I'd play him ahead of I don't know. But Shah Rukh
That's
at
an interesting
7.
point. If Kushagra is a top order batter, then
Yeah, why
the
make him
swap for
finish?
Shah Rukh. Ha ha ha.
Then you'd move Phillips a little lower and put. I would
Which
not
I
play
think is
Kushagra
reasonable.
alone.
No, you
Yeah,
push
but-
Phillips down. You put Phillips and Sundar one down each, right? And you put Kushagra at 4.
Yeah, but none of them can play spin. We have the stat right here.
That's a
None
different
of them can
problem.
play spin.
Yeah, that's a different problem.
The-
See, that's a
That's a-
squad problem.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I said. Wait till the next auction cycle. You have
No,
nobody
but
to
you
play
can't.
spin.
I mean, we're 1.5 seasons away, so you got to figure out something.
Something, yeah, it's a stopgap, but I don't see what they can do with it. See, they've gone from David Miller and Hardik Pandya to Shah Rukh Khan and Rahul Tewati. I mean, what's the difference there? No replacement finishers. Oh, we're just going to trust in two 30-year-olds who've not
Okay, so
proven as
Kumar
much.
Kushagra
as
finished the SMAT as the third highest individual run scorer
And a pretty
That's
good
a
strike rate.
question.
at averaging 60 at 161.
Yeah.
If he's
Some of
averaging
those smart
60,
wickets were flat. Some of those smart wickets were roads, absolute roads.
No.
What are
That-
the IPL
Well,
wickets?
I mean, what do you
Some
think the IPL is? IPL is
IPL wickets
okay,
are pretty
smart-
roads. Yeah.
CSK 128
Today's-
yesterday. These two.
No,
today,
that's
yesterday.
one-
that is a road, by the way.
Okay, so
By the
there
way,
is-
yesterday's wicket was a road. Just at the first 3-4 overs, you had swing. But yesterday's wicket was a road for most parts, right?
Yeah.
Which is why somebody
just-
like Matt Henry, who's the world's best power play bowler, is not getting any help there. He's been swatted yesterday.
Yeah.
So there were enough games in the SMAT which were also over 120 games, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, I think the semi-final or something actually 120, 130 odd was defended. So it's, I mean, you'll see a lot more 200 plus scores in IPL than you would see in Syed Mushtaq. I'll wager that there'll be the rare occasion where 200 was scored in this match, right? Compared to the frequency at which.
IPL.
So given that that's the scenario, I think a 161, 162 strike rate at a 60 average is quite good in. I mean, it's an
quite
elite.
good.
It's an elite performance. Yeah.
Then
The
would
question
you
is,
rather
I
play
don't
him
know
ahead of
much about
Sundar?
him.
Isn't he a better bat than Sundar then?
I agree. See, Sundar.
He may very well be. I don't know. He's young, so there's obviously you have to blood him and then see how he goes. I think he played for Delhi Capitals though in a couple of games.
He
last
played
year.
4 games for them. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it wasn't not much. He didn't
Maybe,
do
right?
much.
So I mean, but he's now 21, right?
He's young, yeah. How's
Yeah,
he
so
against spin? Do you remember that by any chance? Like, how's he against spin? Because if the same case here, then I don't know what they're gonna do.
No, but then you may as well start blooding the young guys, right? You may as well start changing the team. What is the upside in sticking with Tewati and Shah Rukh Khan? Right? See what
True,
Kushagra
but-
can do for a couple of seasons, right? And
You'll
see
have
if
to
he's
ch-
worth.
you'll
I
have to
agree with
change
Steve Vai
by
for a
the-
change.
Sorry?
I don't think I really don't think I've seen Shah Rukh finish a game.
I haven't seen him finish a game in his 2 years at GT. So he scored 150 in a very losing cause. That's as far back as I remember in the last 3 years.
They haven't
So-
invested in any other finisher though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Tewatia, but Tewatia is, he's
done
whatever,
this
for
and
whatever reason he's gone downhill in the last couple of years.
yeah.
Right.
Steve
It actually
Vai-
feels good to see that there are other teams also that have very honest intentions but don't have the talent. Because I CSK needs some company at the bottom, so that way it's good to see GT. We're talking about a team that is like fairly down to earth right now, and while some of the other teams are like mind-boggling with the way they've got started, but you never know when things change at the IPL. It's a 14-game tournament, and we find out
It's
that
long, yeah.
even last year, right, with Gujarat Titans, they were leading till the top of till the 13th game, and then
13th
things changed
game,
for them. But that said, tomorrow's game is if you're done with today's
Yeah,
game,
let's
I
move
just
on.
wanted to
Let's move on.
Yeah,
quickly
let's move on.
preview tomorrow's game, which was actually a very interesting game last year. It was one of the most exciting games where I think DC had almost lost this game. It was played at Vizag. And for some reason, I was much younger, had all the energy. I did the first 3 days traveling to 3 different cities. So I did Kolkata, RCB, KKR, then came to MICSK for Chepauk, and then the next day I flew to Vizag for this game, DC and LSG. And it was a very interesting game. DC were like down and out in the chase, and then Ashutosh basically pulled them out of the woods with that last wicket chase.
Oh, yeah,
So-
that's the one where he got 100.
I don't know how much did he finish with, but
There was a game he got 100, right? Ashutosh got 100 and from 60 for 6, they chased 200 and
Correct.
something. That was the game. So Ashutosh got 100 of the last ball.
Yeah.
With batting with number
Okay.
7 and 8, with 8, 9, 10 and Jack. It was
Okay,
a
I don't
one-handed
remember
chase.
the 100 part.
I can't remember the
but,
opposition. I know this
got it,
happened
got
last year.
I will not be watching that game for the horrible LSG logo alone. Steve, you and Josh Butler are in agreement for once.
Why would Josh Butler be in agreement for the LSG logo?
There was a clip, wasn't there, when the Manchester team was bought by Lucknow, and the LSG logo has become the Manchester team. Josh Butler saw it, and he had to give a positive remark, but his face, you could read it. You should watch that clip. Hilarious.
Oh, right. They've got all these players robotically going, I love this logo. I love this team.
Yeah.
That's what
back to
movies
Ashutosh.
speaks, right?
Ashutosh is what GT wants Shahrukh to be, which is not. Yeah, it hasn't happened. I mean, the same role, right? 6-7. They want them to finish games. Ashutosh does it. Shahrukh hasn't so far.
Yeah,
but
so now looking at the team.
DC has a remarkably better 4, 5, and 6, right?
Yeah.
DC have
DC has Tristan Stubbs, Akshar Patel, Miller, and Ashutosh Sharma.
And Ashutosh, yeah. Sure.
And
I mean, DC has I think a problem of a lot of informed batters.
Yeah, they also have
they have problem of plenty,
yeah.
No, that's at the top. I think if you just look at the middle order, you then also have Vipraj Nigam, and he hit quite a few sixes last time. Very powerful batter.
No, and you have Samir Rizvi also.
They have
Rizvi,
Rizvi,
incredible domestic form.
I don't think Rizvi is going to play. I don't see.
There you go. So there's a problem.
But Rizvi would be starting for GT and PBKS, right?
GT donate half of Josh Butler's kidneys for a guy like Samir Rizvi, to be fair.
Yeah. No, but okay, there's only one question that I really want answered. Do you think Nabi is going to start?
I think so. Akib Nabi will be there. Akib Nabi,
full reach
Samira, Kuldeep. Huh?
You're going on first class form.
No, maybe, yeah.
You're going on first class form.
You're going on red ball form, yeah. So let's start with
Scott Boland should be in the IPL with that logic.
Who's their most likely for
11
overseas players?
For DC?
You definitely want Mitch Stark, right?
Stark's not available. 2 weeks. Stark's not there.
Miller, Nissanka, Stubbs. And then fourth. And it's either Ngidi, Jameson, Chamira.
Jameson's not playing. He got smacked in the T20 World Cup. Jameson's not playing.
I think you're forgetting a certain gentleman who's probably the best T20 bowler after.
Ngidi is the only one, I think.
Yeah, Ngidi.
Yeah.
Ngidi, oh my God, how do you forget him? Ngidi, his slow balls on a good day are amazing. Bravo.
Yeah, he did a good job in the World Cup also. He had a good time.
Definitely, yeah.
So I think that's F4. It has to be Nissanka, Miller, Stubbs, Ngidi.
So who opens with Nissanka? Rahul or
Rahul. Shaw's not getting in, is he? Shaw's not getting in.
Who else? Who do you think it is? Who's the other option?
Shaw's the other option. Shaw or Rahul?
Shaw. No. I hope
Shaw
they
will
don't.
make it to the first
so Rahul and Nissanka.
Yeah.
Karun Nair at one drop.
Yeah.
Or Nitish Rana.
Nitish Rana, yeah, that's a very good option.
Both will play, right?
Maybe.
No, I think if
Nair and Rana will play.
Rana at 3, Nair at 4, Stubbs at 5, Miller at 6.
Miller at 6.
What about Akshar Patel?
Akshar Patel at 7.
Aksha 7.
So Ashutosh Rana at 8.
Then you're wasting Ashutosh at 8.
No, so you probably have
Ashutosh if you need to. No, bump him up if you need to. Like
it's a flexible 5, 6, 7 basically.
Maybe you have Ashutosh as impact player. Was he?
I'm just trying to put together a batting order 11. If you are batting first.
So I would take out one of Nair or Rana for Ashutosh and then figure out where he goes.
Right. What if they collapse? What if you have
Nair both?
Yeah, what if you have Bumrah? What if you have Bumrah and Bolt on a tear? I mean, you don't want Ashutosh plodding along in the 8th over.
For MI specifically, you can do something else. But
Hazelwood, RCB, there's a couple of good bowling lineups out there. I mean, you've got impact players.
I wouldn't be too scared of the RCB bowling lineup.
Hazelwood.
Hazelwood is in this halfway through. Yeah.
Duffy's in good form.
So I'll just go through it again.
Yeah.
I mean, let me put what I feel is a batting first 11. So you take 8 batsmen, right? I mean, you can bat up to 8. So it would be Rahul, Nisanka. I would play both Nair and Rana. I would play Akshar, Stubbs, Miller, and Ashutosh. So that's a flexible 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And the other three bowlers would be Ngidi, Kuldeep, and that leaves. Have I got 3 overseas
Nattu.
players?
Yeah, you need some
Alright.
They've got
Natarajan.
Nattu.
spinners.
Natarajan.
Natarajan is there.
Natarajan.
But we haven't had, we've got one
Mukesh.
spinner so far, right?
We've got Akshar Patel,
Akshar and Kuldeep.
Akshar
That's
and
plenty.
Kuldeep,
Kuldeep.
and Nitish Rana, who's I think amongst the part-time bowlers, he's the best of the lot. He's the best of the lot.
I would rather have Shah Rukh Khan. I'm sorry, no chance.
I don't agree at all. You have
No,
so
Nitish
Nitish
Rana is
Rana
better.
Nitish Rana is infinitely better.
Yeah.
Amongst the part-time off spinners, I think he's the cream of the crop.
No, but I also want to point out what Steve Bhai is saying is there has been a lot of buzz about Shaw playing because even he's come out and talked about it like he is part of the plan. So either someone has misled him or someone really believes in Prithvi Shaw.
That's in the realm of what? No. See, Shah, as much as we slander him, he's a very good talent. If you take a look at his adjusted numbers, his
How
true
long can
strike
you be
rate.
talent? There has to be an upper limit to talent, right? He's 20.
No, he's a good batsman. I feel.
Okay, so there are a few people we've forgotten.
Suryavanshi
There's a few people we've forgotten. One is Abhishek Porel.
Oh man, yeah.
Holy
So there
crap.
is a
He was
surplus of
better than
middle
I
order talent here, and I think
Porel can open, can't he? If you want to play Rahul a little lower down, Porel can open.
A team of wicketkeeper bats.
A team of people who can bat, which is more than a couple of other teams can be saying at this moment.
This
mean,
is a really good team, actually.
if they're questioning
Yeah.
Abhishek Porel, Samir Rizvi not playing, they would start for most other teams. Right?
As a CSK fan, I would take them.
There's a bowling problem though, because you don't have Indian fast bowling strength.
Akeem
Yes,
Nabi is a toss-up. Natarajan is not good at form.
Mukesh,
Nattu is not very
Natarajan.
good form.
See,
Nattu is
the case for Akib is that test lengths have worked so far in the first 3-4 matches, right? And
I mean, they've
if
got to
he's
give
going
him
to
a
get a
go.
chance, it's going to be this year. Huh?
They've got to give him a
Over
go
who?
up front.
Yeah.
Nabi,
I mean, you got to give him a go before the season gets serious, right? See if he's got anything.
I mean, who else would they play if they don't play Nabi? They don't have.
Mukesh.
Yeah.
Mukesh will go. Mukesh will go at 10 runs and over on a good day. I don't know how.
So if
He'd
that's the
probably
bar,
better playing Nabi.
yeah,
That
if
is
that's
the
the
bar.
bar, I think Nabi needs to get a couple of games at least.
Yeah,
Just to
exactly.
see
Give him
anything.
the first half of the season, and then Nattu is again a toss-up. Like their Indian fast bowling are toss-ups, but I feel they have enough spin with Akshar and Kuldeep, who are two international quality bowlers, to drive them
And
in
then
the
you have
overs.
Vipraj Nigam also.
Yeah, and
I
Stark
don't
when he
see
comes back,
Vipraj
he will-
Nigam getting a game this time. Not with this team.
This team is
on a
really
spin
good.
deck-
Actually, the
on
more
a
I look at
spin
the squad.
deck. A
I
spin
mean,
deck
they can play a top 8 Indian if they choose to.
Right.
Nah,
They don't
you
need
would
That's how
Vipraj
good they are.
Nigam.
You would drop. You would
That's
not
how good.
represent.
That's a
You have Nisanka Miller. You need those.
no. I'm
three.
saying
Those
you
three are
could.
vital codes.
Okay, so
You
I'm
could
saying
theoretically drop stuff.
they
You
could
could,
theoretically play a top 8 Indian, and you would say this is reasonable, which means
Yeah, that's true.
Rahul and Prithvi Shaw to open, Karun and Nitish
Yeah.
Rana at 3 and 4,
Yeah.
Ashutosh, Akshar, Samir Rizvi, Abhishek Porel,
Nigam.
Vipraj Nigam. That's a top 9 Indian, which you'd say is not a bad team.
Adding on to that point, they could do that. They could drop one of Miller and Stubbs, and when Stark gets back, and he will get back, play both him and Ngidi, and then that's a crack unit, isn't it? Stark and
It's a
Ngidi.
good time. Yeah, if
It's a
Stark's
crack
going to come back, I think then you need to test Nabi. You got to see what you have.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I think he starts. Him and Nattu need to go to see where they're at. Start them. Your third seamer, Ngidi, I think he's a lock until Starkey gets back. Yeah, again, it's a very settled unit. They can play around. They can
it's
chop
not
and
settled.
change.
It's not
No.
settled. They have too
But they
many
have the
options.
problem. That's
It's a
good. That's a
very
problem
good
of
team.
Plenty.
It's a
At least they
very
didn't.
good squad.
No,
At
but
least they
what
didn't
happens
bet
with-
the house on 4 openers and on 5 or 6 openers, and then leave out the rest of the team to the
What
dogs.
happens with such teams also is they struggle to get their correct 12 and 13. Right?
Yeah.
Who's most in form, who's handling pressure the best. So you know what I'm saying is You might have Cooper Conley do very well today, right? But 4 games down the line, 25,000 people at Chinnaswamy screaming RCB, RCB. How does he handle that? He's made his debut in a virtually soundless stadium. There were not enough supporters for either team there, right?
And
So it's a
technically
very
a home
different
game.
scenario.
No.
It's
I
a
don't
very
think.
different scenario playing in Wankhede against that opposition, playing in
Playing CSK.
RCB against that opposition,
Yeah.
playing in CSK and Chepauk, right? So I think you have to keep those things in mind, and some people rise above it and some people don't. And we've seen
That's
Ashutosh at the medal. We've not
Yeah.
seen Samir Rizvi deliver under pressure. I think Samir Rizvi is phenomenally gifted, but I've not
Yeah,
seen
he's a
him in
kid.
CSK
Yeah.
or and he's not a kid anymore. Like he must be
He's
25,
21.
26.
No, he's 21.
Samir Rizvi.
He's
played
21.
3 seasons
Samir
for-
Rizvi.
Oh no,
He's
that's
still
then
a
it's
kid.
fraud. He played 3 seasons for CSK, didn't he?
Dude, he played.
yeah.
He played one for CSK and got released. I'm pretty
He's
sure.
22 in like a month. But yeah, he's still pretty young.
Okay, but I saw him in the batting in at least in red ball, and I think he's phenomenal. He's really
He's great.
gifted.
Yeah.
But again, right? So you have to see them under pressure and see how they deliver.
Slightly debating
I
from
think-
that. Let's go to
Yeah.
Steve Bai's comment if that's fine. Am I the only one who thinks Ngidi is fraud? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think he was
I
a
do
fraud
not
till 2-3 years back. I mean, as a fraud, as in he was overrated till he was in CSK. I think subsequently he's developed remarkable skills.
No, I
Or
think
he's
he's
honed his skills.
phenomenal. I think it's just
Did-
absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I
He
think
ran
there was
through-
this recent article, right? The amount of slower ones that Ngidi bowled, and he was able to, I think he bowled in that famous game versus Afghanistan. It was Ngidi's slower ones that probably kept them in the game.
He got the
And
2
I
wickets
think
and over.
he's-
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
It's as much
Ngidi
as saying
is
Harshal Patel is a fraud, right?
Right.
You have 2-3 exceptional years, and then you need to reinvent your slower ball because people start to read it, right?
It's
Right.
not.
Because
I think Harshal, but I think Harshal's a different case though because he was good and then he injured his back and the slower ball didn't come out the same way. So then he had to reinvent it.
Yeah.
So Ngidi
Yeah, and I
was
think
a pure. Yeah. Go
Ngidi
for it.
doesn't use a slower ball as purely a variation of chuck out. He reads the batter really well with that slower ball, right? Because he has these overs where it's 5 slower balls in a row and he'll get 2 wickets. And he does this regularly. And it's not this concept of, no one can play 120 kmph ball. It's that he knows how to read the batter and what they're doing. He comes in the 3rd, 4th over and he messes their heads. He's really
And he gets
figured that
that
out in the
he
last
gets a
3
dip like I haven't seen before.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I know from batsman's perspective, it looks like it's coming at your level and then it's
Yeah.
going under your bat, right? So that's
Like a leg spinner, yeah.
the scariest. Yeah.
The funny thing
I
is he
think-
doesn't even need it. Like, do you remember that Test match like 10 years ago when he made his debut? He ran through a very good Indian batting lineup. Like Kohli couldn't see where the ball was coming. Yeah,
Does
so he
anybody
doesn't even need
watch
it. It's a funny thing.
Right.
Basketball.
But
No,
anybody
it's a
watches
good
basketball?
Okay, so I think Seen Uploader is qualified. Back in the day,
what's
there
with
used to
what's
be.
with the Ngidi hit here? Oh my god.
No, he's qualifying. That's what he meant by a fraud. As in,
Balls Murli
Murli.
office.
Yeah, so that,
Listen, anyone who
he's
can
the
do
world's
that is
fastest.
kind of incredible.
That's a good.
that's what I remember. Viv Richards in an interview about his dismissal in the 1983 World Cup said, "I got out to the fastest off spinner in the world." It's reminded me
Oh,
of
shucks. Madan Lal, okay.
that. Yeah. So he runs faster than he bowls.
That said, we've now done something like the 2023 IPL final. We've now played this podcast over 2 nights.
We haven't discussed LSG.
Yeah, LSG.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we started this podcast in March, and now we're continuing this podcast into April. So yeah,
Financial
on to
year.
financial year. So on to LSG, and I think
And that
The
amazing
African
logo.
elephant. The African elephant team.
The Jaws
It's
butler
just about
proof.
the ugliest jersey. We should at some point go through the ugliest jerseys all time.
Ugliest logos of all
That'd be a
time.
great pod. Let's do that.
Let's start.
Yeah.
I think
I think we need a
all-time, all
separate
sports.
podcast on that.
I think
I
LSG is
will-
up there.
LSG's there. I
I
think
think
I'd
also
pick
go to
Kochi Tuskers.
Oh,
Did
Yeah,
they have
even
a-
they had
You're
a-
allowed to- I don't know
Did
if
they
you're
have a
allowed to pick
rebrand?
teams that collapsed. I think they were so bad the jersey was maybe the best thing about them.
No, didn't they have a rebrand? Weren't they named something else, like Indian Commandos or something? Then there was so much of a backlash that they had to rebrand. Or am I getting it wrong?
Wow. Oh, I didn't know that.
It
I
might
thought it was
just
just
be.
Cheetahs.
I never
No,
heard of
they were
that.
named. They were named Indie Commandos, I think, and I don't know if it was them or Sahara.
You might be
They were
right.
named
You might be right.
They were named Indie Commandos, and then there was so much of a backlash that they changed to Kochi Tuskers.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're 18, right? How do
Yeah,
you
I was
remember
like,
things that
I
happened
was,
pre-season
I
in
was 5
2011?
years. I was 5 years. I'd been like 3 years old back then. I never
He
watched
was
them
reading
play.
cricket for he was reading cricket for 3 years old.
He's remembering pre-season banter from 2011. This is incredible stuff.
Right.
Okay, so
going to-
LSG,
LSG,
their
yeah.
overseas players are their biggest problem. They have Aiden Markram, they have Mitchell Marsh,
Mitchell Marsh,
they have
Puran.
Nicholas Puran, they have Matthew Bretsky, they have, did I say Aiden Markram yet? I did, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
you
yeah.
did.
We've gone through the
They
first.
Josh
have
Inglis.
Hasaranga, Josh Inglis, and one more.
Mitch Marsh.
Right?
Andre
Mitch Marsh, I
Yeah,
think.
Mitch
he's
Marsh?
been mentioned.
Oh,
Aki is
yeah.
injured, isn't he? He's injured like 9 months of
He's
the year.
always
I
injured.
wouldn't count him.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, but I don't
But
think
they
he starts
also
in this team. So tell me
They have
who
Arjun
starts.
Tendulkar, so I don't know if you're
They have
underrating
Aiden
him.
Markram,
I think they
Aiden
want. I
Markram,
think they want
Nicholas
Sachin
Puran,
as a.
Mitchell. Is that a given start?
Yeah. Markram and Marsh open. Pant and Puran. I think that top 4 is locked in. The problem arises that all of their fast bowlers are injured. I think we should touch up on that first.
No, they have a fairly good Indian base. I mean, I think
They're all injured.
Yadav
Mayank
is
is
not
gone.
injured. Mayank is
Mayank's
gone.
gone. Mayank's gone again. 9 months of the year.
No,
Is he?
no, Mayank Yadav is playing.
No, Mayank's
Mayank
playing.
is in form. He's
playing.
fit.
He's in
So-
form. He's here.
He's fit.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
been,
So Mayank
I
Yadav,
saw his-
Mohammad Shami will be their pacers. You
Avesh
also
Khan?
have
Avesh
What
Khan,
about the other guy?
Who's
They had another.
fast?
They had a third one.
Avesh
who's
Khan and
really
Mohsin Khan. Both are
good. Mohsin
available. I
Khan.
think
Yeah, yeah.
Mohsin Khan and
Seriously?
Avesh Khan both are. Yeah, I think both are available.
Holy crap! It's gonna rain.
Yeah, they're all available. They've
my
got.
They are the problem.
See-
They had a problem last year, which is why we think it's still carrying on. Last
Yeah.
year they didn't have one. They didn't have like they had 14
Any
players available to
bowlers.
play.
They had Rafi
No, because-
shouting and people, and that's about it.
No, but what
So-
guarantee? See, Mohammad Shami in the history of Indian fast bowlers has been one of the most injury prone. Mohsin and Mayank again injury prone. How do you seriously think they're gonna last 14 games on the trot?
No, but then see,
No,
that's
no.
it. You have. I'm saying you've got 4 Indian fast bowlers, and remember,
Yes.
there's a guy called Prince Yadav who's not too bad. So between these 5,
It's
they will
okay.
get three in each game, right? And then you have 2 or 3 spinners.
You
I'm
guys
assuming.
lied.
Steve by, oh my god, we need to hire this guy.
Yeah,
Who
just
is
for
their
lying, man.
fourth
Just
overseas?
for marketing.
Fourth overseas. Not
Okay,
Brent
in fact,
there's a-
Scott, not here.
In fact, there's a
Hasaranga.
question that we have for the 18-year-old. Are we sure the Australian jersey guy is not doing age fraud?
Yo, yeah. Fairly confident. I have my birth certificate somewhere here. Don't worry about it. Steve Bhai, I know where you live. I'll try for
Okay,
IP.
I'm going through the squad.
Yeah.
So Markram, Puran, Josh Inglis, and Mitchell
Wait,
Marsh.
Josh
Is that
Inglis
the
is. I thought he used to have a wedding, right? He's not going to come right away.
No.
No. He postponed it.
Postponed.
That was
He postponed
changed
it.
too.
He postponed it.
That was then,
He got
at the
he
time
got
of
out
the
of
auction.
Punjab. He wanted Punjab to release him, so he said wedding. And then when he got bought by these guys, he was like, "Oh no, I've postponed it."
Too much money to give it. Like a wedding will change.
10 crores. I
Woman
think,
can wait. If she's getting a bigger diamond ring, she'll wait.
So, good one. Yeah, the squad.
Is that it? So that's their 4. That means their 4 come in pretty much in the top 5, and with Ayush Badoni as
Yeah.
their finisher or
Six,
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Badoni,
Is there-
Samad. I think they also have Samad, right? The
Badoni,
Kashmiri
Samad,
guy.
correct. Badoni and Samad.
I don't think Samad's going to play. I think Badoni is the better player.
So 6, 7.
Of
No,
course,
they'll play
Badoni
7.
is like
Right?
a Delhi
I
captain,
think they
right?
both play. I think they both play.
Oh.
They'll both play. I
Yeah.
think. I don't see
No, but
another.
Badoni's been in the
batter.
system for longer. I think they trust Badoni. I think they might start.
No, I
No,
think they'll
but I
play
think-
both. They'll play
Yeah, I
both.
think Badoni and
Can you
Samad
fit
are
with
who
Can you fit
these guys want. Yeah. That's who they
6 and
want
7.
Tawati and Shah Rukh Khan to be. Is Badoni and Samad.
6 and 7.
Yeah, I think they play. Especially
And
if
then
you have top
10, 11.
overseas or
Your
top
4 Indian pace bowlers.
4
Wait, but-
Indian pace bowlers. No, I think they'll play 3 and
And
a spinner,
Rati.
right?
and Rati.
Rati
Seen
or,
Uploader makes a
or
very good
Shabazz.
point. Seen Uploader makes a very good point. Don't think they need a 4th overseas unless they have Nokia or pace available. Don't have a pace or play 3 overseas
No,
batsmen.
No, but
Play
4, no?
Who gets dropped?
Play
play
four.
3. Why would you play
Why
4?
three?
You
Inglis.
have
Because you have four. You
You
have four
don't
good
need
batters.
Inglis. If Inglis is not opening, I don't think you need to play him. He doesn't really do a job down the order.
That's actually fair.
Yo, Steve Boy is
Okay.
on one here. I'd rather have no finisher than Ayush Badoni. Come on, man, come down.
Oh, I'm loving the social chat.
Ooh,
man.
okay.
Like real-time
I think we
chat.
should do the other way. Steve Bhai, who do you rate?
Let's get there.
Oh, you're kidding.
Man, Steve Vai is, upping the humor quotient of this show so much.
Oh my god, yeah. We need a comedy segment where it's just Steve By and Scene Uploader going back
The
to back. We
Steve
need a
Vai
comedy segment. Yeah, the Steve.
Steve Bhai
Look at
rates
that.
basketballers from Slovenia. No cricketers at all.
Steve By, name 3 cricketers you rate right now.
One is also good.
Yeah, but do you seriously think they need to play English? English is not going to open here. Markram and Marsh are way better than him.
So English are playing 3 for Punjab, 3 and 4.
He's
Four
not
for
going to play
his-
3 or 4 here. You have Pant, you have Puran. The top 4 is locked. It's probably one of the best in the league. English, in my opinion, is a backup batter. I'd rather have Bretsky at 5. I mean, English at 5 it's a CSK problem. You can't play an opener at 4 or 5 and think he's going to succeed.
Bretsky is not a finisher either. He's a backup player. He's
Both of them are
rainy
backup
day-
players in the sense.
Bretsky is a
No,
South
but-
African ODI opener, right? He's their opener who plays or the number 3 batter.
No, Bretsky plays at number 4 for their ODI team.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I would rather have Bretsky.
him-
Either that or the Indian
No.
guys. Like you need to fit in Digvesh Rathi here as well. Again,
Yeah,
there's
Digvesh
nothing
not
wrong
as a
with playing
batter.
3.
Not as a batter.
No, but
No, I mean in the team.
you don't really have
you need 5
all-rounders,
bonus
right?
slots. Yeah, they have no all-rounders, which is a
No, they
problem.
have
You don't have
Shabazz.
Indian all-rounder. Huh?
Shabazz
Shabazz.
isn't getting in. I don't think he's getting in.
Shabazz gets in.
Shabazz.
No,
Yeah,
you play the
Shabazz.
4
Think
fast.
so?
No, you play the 4 fast bowlers and you
As
play
a
leg spinner.
spinner who can bat at number 7, 8, I would put him.
Yeah, you probably need a second. So then
Badoni
you're losing.
Badoni can roll us
Badoni
off
is-
over if I'm not wrong.
Okay,
He
I
was
still think
Shah
Nitish
Rukh
Rana
Khan
is a
level
better
of
spinner.
No, so yeah, you
You're not
might
gonna
lose
knock
some
on
out
that,
then just for.
Yeah, look, Shabazz. Play the 4 seamers. Play the leggy. You have Badoni to roll his arm over. And as you say, on a spinning deck, if there are any left in this country, bring in Shabazz.
Shabazz averages 18.79 at a 121 strike rate.
Not
Pat
bad.
Cummins has
as
a
a
better
bowler-
average. Cummins
Pat
is better
Cummins
than
is
TK.
not terrible. Cummins has a knack of sticky runs. His average is better than it should be.
He's a tall guy who can whack it. I mean,
He doesn't
when
play
he was
So
in-
Shabazz is
knows
not a
how to do
whacker.
Yeah.
Shabazz, I think the batter tag is a little.
No, he's a
Well,
you're
lower
selling it a
order
bit.
bowling
In
all-rounder.
2022, when RCB collapsed, Shabazz and DK
He
rescued
won them a game.
in 3.
He won them
Yeah,
a game, yes.
3 games he rescued them. 1 game that was like actually winning.
No,
I
it's not
remember-
Shabazz Nadeem, yeah, Shabazz Ahmed.
Being the best player
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah,
2022
Shabazz Ahmed,
should not
correct.
help you in anything.
Yeah, they had Mahipal Lamror for God's sake. Where is this coming from? No, and
Listen, yeah,
every no,
I don't think that's the
every-
benchmark for good enough.
they had Patidar who made no runs. And wasn't there a funny story about how Patidar organized his marriage and then he was brought in as a replacement player and then played that blinder and then got the captaincy next season?
Wow, so we've always. So I think the team that does this.
So that's what
then
English
I
is
think
hoping for.
Yeah.
He wants to
Then
be captain
English will
next
become
year.
the captain. He'll become the captain.
And
He'll win the.
Oh, I
Leads
hope
DC tour title. Finished. Yeah. It's all set.
Wow,
He-
what a
he
pattern
doesn't
we
care. He got
spotted,
the
no?
paycheck. Oh yeah, you could have started with that. But yeah, I mean, again, LSG has a problem of plenty, but also we're not looking at something. The top 4 is good, but
No,
what
I'm
kind
not
of
so
top-
sure they have a problem of plenty. They are struggling to get if you don't play an English, or a Bretsky at number 5, you don't have
Their
enough
middle order
batters.
is only weird.
No, play Bretsky at 5. 4 foreigners in the top 5, as Nirav said.
Three for me.
Puran,
Huh?
Marsh,
Who's the fourth?
Makram opening.
Okay, four in the
Puran,
top 5.
Bretsky. That's 4, yeah. See,
4 in the top
The-
5.
No, if you're
Marsh,
going to
that's
play one of them, it can't be Brett It has to be English. That makes no sense.
no. English opens. I feel English does his best work opening.
Brett is also a top order bat. He doesn't,
He's
like,
close.
to me, I'm like,
It's
Well, if you
you
ask
make
me,
the best of it.
amongst these, Pant should go down, Puran should go down. Because Puran and Pant can
No,
play.
you don't. Those
Don't
two
mess
are
with the
really
guys
good.
who are good.
You don't-
Then
Yeah,
your
exactly.
value
Don't
of
mess with
Rishabh Pant goes down, right? Rishabh Pant
Exactly.
on some of these, if he's going to play on a black soil wicket, he's going to struggle as much as we saw Shah
Well-
Rukh struggle today.
so maybe you stick with not yet. Nokia? How do you spell his name? Yeah.
See,
Okay.
Nokia is a kind of guy, if he's 100% fit, nobody in this world can hit him. If he is 97% fit, Shah Rukh Khan can probably hit him for 3 6s, if we're being completely honest here.
Yeah, so
You
that's
don't know
something
what
we
kind
have
of
to figure
fitness
out.
he is.
But
I still
you know,
wouldn't blame him. I still feel
I don't
they
think
have
like
enough Indian
I don't
players.
think pushing Britsky or English into a number 5, number 6 makes any sense. Just
Yeah,
I mean,
play
unless they
Badoni
define
and
the role,
Ahmad.
I think English is gifted enough to play the finisher's role. If
he hasn't done
you know,
spot
then
for
all you have
Australia,
to
though.
do, you have to approach it and say that everybody's a finisher, right? And you therefore you play a top 6 that is, or 7 even with Abdul Samad, which is anybody can play anywhere, or has a you can just keep going.
No, or you
So
can
I
say
think-
that. See, in the top 4, I feel they have a hole. Markram and Marsh is a very good chance one of those two don't come off. Pant and Puran, you don't know what form they're going to be coming in. Puran tailed off last year. Pant had a howler last year. So there's a very, very good chance that at least 2 of them don't come off. You could tell the number 5, Inglis or Bretsky, whoever they choose, listen, there's a very good chance 2 of these guys make no runs. Just go in as a stopgap, make runs, play the situation basically. And both of these batsmen are good enough to do that. So maybe with that in mind, they've bought these players as, pseudo number 3 or number 4 in case they lose early wickets, which is very possible with that top 4. It's a buster. It's a buster balls top 4.
I think
that's not the word. Bust or balls.
That's a bad term.
It's,
But no, I
it's
think
the
LSG
umbrella
have the
batsman.
problem, and I think LSG have the problem you were talking about with DC Nirav. Of they have a problem of plenty, but plenty of 7 on 10, 8 on 10 guys, not 10 on 10.
Yeah.
And if a bunch of 7 and 8 on 10 guys, you don't know what your best 11 are or best 12 are, you run into problems because you need those 7 and 8 on 10 guys to be playing out of their skin to have any shot at a championship.
Wow,
English
I'm
is a
happy that
English
we have
is-
CSK lookalikes. Great.
They have slightly better bowling than you, I think.
I would play English.
Oh, I would take Mayank Yadav any day. Please,
I'll
we
play
will give
English
you
at 5.
we will give you all of our spare openers for Mayank Yadav. Please.
Yeah, I would do that.
I think it's
for RCB.
past this kid's bedtime.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we are. We have hit bedtime. It's almost been
yeah.
like 1 a.m. So let's call it a night. And thanks for all of the 48 people on the stream who
Oh, wow.
been with us consistently. And yeah,
And
look
I've been,
forward to-
I've been tolerating Steve Bhai.
75 minutes of us
We need,
laughing at
we
Steve
need
Bhai.
IP ban him. We need IP ban him.
So is this Steve Bhai somebody that you know, or is it like a complete stranger?
Complete
I don't know.
stranger.
Steve
It's
Bhai.
Steve Bhai. It's
No,
Steve
no,
Bhai.
I feel he,
Will-
I feel he
Will the
knows
real
one of
Steve
us.
Bhai stand up?
I get that reference. I feel
I
Kaushik
deserve an
knows
award,
some
yes.
reason.
You deserve an award, absolutely, Steve Bhai. Please tell us which city you are from. If you're from Bangalore or Chennai, we'll have an award sent to you. I think if you're
Just
from
Bangalore,
Chennai, we'll just send you a beer.
Post
Because
doesn't
I
go
know
anywhere else.
Chennai doesn't have good beer. So
I wouldn't know.
You're 18.
Bengaluru.
I can't drink. 21.
Hey, Chennai.
Oh, in
da.
fact,
No.
this day, I
This is
declared a WPL and winner thing
Wait,
with
wait,
a
sorry.
autograph.
We need to go back. But as a Bangalorean,
still
you
have that
support
by
CS.
I
I
can,
don't
No, we don't
know
know that.
which-
We don't know that. We need IP hack him. We need to find out where he's from.
No, I think just saying that is enough to IP ban him.
Okay, wait, guys. Before we log off,
So-
predictions for tomorrow's game. Like each one of us, let's say who we think is going to win.
I
the
think
team which
DC
wins
will
the
take it
toss.
6-0.
Who?
Sorry,
The
what?
team which wins the toss.
DC has won, I think,
Perfect.
5 of their last encounters with LSG,
It's a-
and the LSG has
it's-
never beaten DC. So I think I'm going to go for 6-0, and hopefully somebody at Star Sports, does another Mocha ad with this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
I
agree with
think
that. I think DC is going to win. DC has
Yeah.
a really good team, and unless whoever that Hemang Badani, unless he says I'm going to play all my kids, both my children get a game. Unless he says something like that, the DC is going to win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think short of Mayank Yadav having a blinder, I think DC wins.
Ah, that's a good take. What about you, Nirav?
The team which wins the toss wins.
Oh come on, is it
No
that kind of
faith
place?
in
I
any
mean,
of it.
It is because I don't think necessarily the best team has won on each day. Largely,
CSK
largely it's a function-
CSK are our best team.
Well, it could have been a wholly different story if it had been the other way around.
Exactly.
We don't know. Because I
Exactly.
think the all four games so far, it has been juicy up front, and it's a matter of yes, I don't know. There are a couple of things, the catch is being taken, uh, people realizing that the bums actually hit the boundary line. Those things have actually are what have twisted the matches, right? So so far it's been a win the toss, win the game.
Today's wasn't either. I don't think today's was. I feel Punjab were clearly the better team. Even with the selection mishap, not playing Brar, I still feel.
No, I think you flip this, GT might win this. They were
No.
very, very close.
Yeah, that's because of the Marcus Stoinis deciding he was playing against Zimbabwe, for God's sake.
No, but I think if GT knows you only have to chase 170, they chase 170.
They chased 170 with 2 wickets left.
Punjab didn't play Brar.
Yeah.
I feel it would have been a completely different story if they played Brar. I'm telling you,
That's
they wouldn't have done crap.
So the whole
That's a
IPL
different
could
idea,
have
though.
just been a toss-up or just book cricket, man. Why do you need humans if you're a toss? It's just going to decide.
Yeah,
No,
this
that's
is
what
in
it's
Dubai.
been so far.
This
No,
is
if
and
you
it
look at the
usually
stats-
this is in Dubai.
it
No, if you
usually
look at
is
the
in the
stats
first
of
half
IPL,
of
it is
IPL.
usually that.
Yeah.
It is usually that in the first half of IPL.
Yeah.
Oh. Just wait till the flat
Anyway.
tracks roll around, and I think we'll be fine.
On that note, I think we should all go to bed. It's close to 1 a.m. Thanks to all the 48 people who are still there listening to us. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time, hopefully transiting the midnight this thing. And tomorrow we're seeing DC versus LSG. Looking forward to your company. Till then, from all of us, it's good night.
Thank you, guys.